Hey everyone, this is Ben Carmichael with New England on the Fly. I'm here today to review the Abel SDS 1112 saltwater fly reel. It's a great choice if you're pursuing big saltwater game like tarpon, permit, maybe even big false albacore down in Florida or something like that where you need a lot of drag. For me, it was the choice when I went down to Boca, Grande, Florida to chase tarpon just a couple weeks ago. Used it a couple times and I got a couple of thoughts. First of all, what do I like about Abel's? What I like about Abel reels is not specifically about this SDS 1112, but about Abel as a whole. So first of all, the thing that Abel is known probably most for is they're 100% made in America. They're based out in Colorado. From inception to completion, everything they do happens right there in Colorado, which is pretty cool. Another thing that I like about them is just a couple of years ago they started this foundation called the Abel Women Foundation. It's about promoting women in the sport of fly fishing, sort of like Orvis's 50-50 program. This is something that I think is critical, so needed, and they were one of the early adopters on it, so well done, Abel. I really appreciate that. So, the SDS 1112, what does it stand for, first of all? This is the sealed drag salt. That's what SDS means. It takes a lot of the same reliability, the smooth drag that you would find on some of the smaller reels, but adapts it to a larger saltwater application. So I've already mentioned a couple things that I like. The drag, not only is it a super smooth drag adjustment with just a little bit of feedback, both to the touch you get, but then there's also just a little bit of sound, so you know what you're doing here. It is a stainless steel carbon fiber alternating stack drag system, so it has really low startup inertia. It feels super smooth, and it's incredibly tough. So you can, if you got a big fish on, they're heading for the rocks or heading for the reef, you can really dial down on it. Another thing that I like, and this is just sort of in the detail, the knob here. Some of the knobs on, especially spinning rods, if you know, they've got these like big knobs on them, or even on some other saltwater fly fishing reels, they're a little bit big or they're smooth. So say you're fighting a tarpon, you're fighting it for 45 minutes or something, even 25, it's hot, it's 90 degrees, it's 100% humidity, it feels like it, you're gonna sweat, and you're gonna sweat a lot, right? So you have a smooth knob here, you're not gonna be able to control it. Your finger's gonna slip, it's a pain in the ass. This is ported, so it's got just a few holes, and it's got just a little bit of ridge lines on it. So you actually can feel and hold on to this knob better than others. So, small thing, but a nice thing. There's also, to start at the very beginning here, the packaging is just really slick. It's a black box, it's got some embossing on it. The Abel label here looks like it's actually handwritten on it. You open up this nice case. There's a little bit of leather on the front. It feels like a velvet interior. It's just a nice, classy touch. So, it's a great reel. Performs really well with big game fish and saltwater. What do I not like about it? There's probably two things that I would highlight as criticisms. One is this knurled knob here on the front, which is what connects the spindle to the actual reel itself here, holds the whole thing together. I actually noticed that mine came loose once or twice over the course of a 4-day trip. I've talked to a couple guys locally in the fly shop. One of them actually said that they lost theirs on a bonefish flat. It just came out. So that's not something that I've experienced elsewhere. You just want to make sure that you really check it and you crank down on it so that it doesn't come off, especially when you're fighting a fish. That would really suck. The other thing that I wasn't a huge fan of, and I just got to mention it because it was a first impression for me, is I'm a left-hand reel. It arrived to me right-hand reel. So I followed the instructions, or I tried to follow the instructions that are included here just in the back of the reel. And actually, those instructions don't match the instructions that Abel has online. And it took me just a little while to figure it out. I've never owned an Abel before, so this is my first time doing it. It's an investment. I didn't want to mess it up, so it's being a little bit careful, I admit. I finally got it figured out, but it seems like a small detail, especially for a company that prides itself on producing such a good quality product. So that's the Abel SDS 1112. Great, again, for tarpon fishing. I was down in Boca Grande, saw a bunch of fish, caught, as I said, a 70 to 80 pound fish on this. It performed great. Looks great too. This is just a straight up blue, but Abel does have all those great funky custom colors that you can do too. So those are my thoughts on the Abel SDS 1112. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys get out there and have a great time in the salt. See you later.